So teaching middle. First, know your dog and what their comfort level is. Are they comfortable with you coming over the top of them? Like this. Moose is pretty good about this. We can lift him up, we can manhandle him, we can do all kinds of stuff. Now, if your dog isn't comfortable with you putting things or body parts over their back, you're gonna need to start with getting them to go under things. I usually start with, if I can, hold my leg out, see if I can get them to go under it, or rest your leg on something, see if you can get them to go under it. If that's still too much, have them go over like a broom pole. Just set it up so that it's high enough that they don't feel like they're getting a lot of pressure to go underneath it, and then slowly lower it and see if you can replace it with your leg and get them to do the same thing. If your dog is comfortable with you coming over the top of them, or they're comfortable going under parts of your body, start like this. Going in from the front, it's 3 steps. They would have to go through your legs, stop. They would have to go through your legs, turn around, and come back through your legs a second time to look up at you. Easier version is to have them over to your side, go in from the back, 1 step. They just have to go through your legs, and you give them the dream. So, here's what we'll do with Moose. He does already know this, but as you can tell, he's really pushy right now, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more difficult and a little bit more like what you would be dealing with if your dog doesn't know this already. So, first, he knows how to lure into positions. He will follow my hand and treats anywhere. Start from this, stick my leg out, and go through. Good. Doesn't have to stay there yet. He can if he wants to. So that's the first step that I would do, is see if you can get them over next to you or behind you. Stick your leg out and get them to go underneath it. And you can do much more obvious luring with that if you need to. So here, I'll try to be a little bit more obvious. Lure, get them to go under it. And that cuts down on the amount of pressure they'll feel from above in being in this position, because it's a very vulnerable position for them, unless they really trust you to take care of them. Good. You can tell that Moose has a hard time staying there. So that's how I would start out. Behind you a little bit, stop moving, go under my leg. And then you can just slowly make your cue, your physical cue, smaller and smaller, so that you can just kind of stick your leg out to the side or widen your stance a little bit. Middle. And get them to go through. Middle. Middle. And then as you add your cue, I don't typically add my cue immediately, but you can. Just make sure you say it before you move. So, if I'm standing normally, get them over to my side a little bit. Middle. He doesn't know it on that side. Perfect. Quick. Stop moving. Middle. And this is why I don't start with the cue, is that I don't want him practicing not getting in this position or any other position or behavior. No. After he hears the cue. So since he doesn't know it as well on this side, we get him over here. Stop. Good. Let him go under. That's more what it'll look like when you start out. Stop. Good. He's still kind of going around my foot, so we'll go again. Stop. Good. Good. That's kind of how you want to start it. Middle. And now that he's offering this behavior, I will say my cue, middle, and then offer him the reward. Middle. Good. If you want him to go into the position from in front of you, you need to teach him to turn around and then catch his nose and get him to go back into the middle before he can get into any of the other positions. So if I have encouraged heel enough times, he'll probably go through and then immediately try to be on a heel on either side instead of waiting for another cue, because he's moving really quickly right now. Okay, so start with a wider stance. Through. Good. Through. Good. Through. No, 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 no. Through. Good. Middle. Good. And that's kind of how you can do it. So, good. Front. Through. Good. Get him to go all the way through. Good. Middle. Good. So it's 2 cues. And there's a third step in between that they'll pick up pretty quickly, which is I can turn around to get back into that other position that I'll get rewarded for. Middle. We'll try again. Front. They don't know their verbal cues as well because I've done a lot more luring and hand targeting and hand signals than I have actual verbal cues. So that's why his will be a little bit messy. Through. Good. Middle. Good. And that's how you can get it from the front. Middle. Good. Middle. Good. Middle. Good. Get it. And if you have a hard time getting them out from that position, you just tuck the treat. Get it. And do something else. Middle. Good. Get it. Alright, so we've practiced this a lot more, Gus and I, so his should be a lot more smooth. Middle. Ah. Middle. Good. And he stays here. The way that I got that was the same way that I just showed you with mouse. You kind of give them one treat at a time, where they know that you have more treats. All kinds of distractions going on right now too. Good. And, or give them a whole handful at once, and it makes it a really valuable position. Yep. 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 Middle. Sit. Good. And then you can start pairing it together with other behaviors like a sit or a down, or mix it in with a bunch of heels, make it more fun. Great. Good. You can kind of add it, mix it up, add it into other sequences. Good. Press front. Middle. Good bow. Like that. Middle. And you can see him start to get creative with it too. Front. Middle. Go boy. Right? Really handy if you have a dog that's a little bit insecure, or if you have a dog that is a little bit more reactive, or you just want something to teach your dog that's more fun. And you can make it look really pretty. There are also trainers that use this to help with reactivity. If you have a really good middle command and a really good look command, and you can build that up to 100% reliability, there's no longer any reactivity because your dog is prioritizing these positions and commands over everything else in their environment. That's another use for this behavior. Okay. All right. Don't break anything.